What up, nerds? My name is Leslie Smith. Welcome to The Nerdy Narrative. The Nerdy Narrative is a channel I started to have a place to come and share with all of you about all of the things that I read. And I hope that I'm able to help you find something you might be interested in picking up, whether it's something in a genre that you love, or maybe find a book in a genre that you don't normally read, but it sounds like something you might would enjoy. Guys, today I'm going to share with you all of the books that I plan to read during the month of November. I'm going to start with the ones that I do not have in physical format first, because if I don't, I might forget them. First up is going to be The Fall of Babel, which is book 4 in the Books of Babel series by Josiah Bancroft. I don't have the exact date that it's released in November, but I will be looking that up and I will make sure I am ready to start that book as soon as it arrives to the house. I am so excited to see how that series is going to end. The next new release I'll be reading in November is A Lesser Evil by Timothy Zahn, which is the 3rd book in the Thrawn Ascendancy trilogy. My expectations are low. The first book in the series was amazing. It was gorgeous. The second book was a bit of a disappointment. It just really felt unnecessary, not needed. I did not see any value in what we got. Now, the 3rd book could come in and really change all of that. I hope that it does, but I'm going to keep the bar low as far as expectations. The 3rd book is The Secret Life of Bees by, I believe, Sue Monk Kidd. This is my patron pick of the month. The Wheel of Names chose Kate from the Literary Apothecary to pick my November read, and this is the book that she chose for me, which is hilarious because she covered it on her channel ages ago and I put it on my TBR. That list is so long, I have not gotten to it yet, so when she picked it, I was overjoyed. Then the rest of my reads I have in physical copy here already, so we're gonna start with buddy reads, book club picks, and read-alongs. So the first one I have here is the collection of nonfiction essays by Joan Didion. I believe that's how her last name is pronounced. The name of this collection is We Tell Ourselves Stories in Order to Live. And it's a read-along that is hosted by Kate from the Literary Apothecary and Evie from She Was Only Evie. I believe the goal is to read 1 essay per month. That is so obtainable, and because I have not done a good job keeping some nonfiction on my TBR, I thought this was a perfect way to get that incorporated into the TBR monthly and to do it with friends. I mean, you cannot go wrong when you're reading with friends. So I'm very excited to delve into this collection and see what I think. You know, on top of all that, it's a small time commitment. So I am looking forward into reading those with Kate and Evie and whoever else would like to join. I will have Kate's channel linked in the description box down below so that you can come and join us on her Discord. The next is a buddy read that I'll be doing with Angela from Literature Science Alliance. We will be reading The Hour of the Star by Clarice Lispector. Angela knows I love Clarice. I love how Clarice takes normal, mundane things and writes amazing stories around those things. Just how important they really are, how overlooked they are. So anytime I get a chance to read Clarice, I am going to jump at the chance. So I'm very excited to read that one with Angela. And then the next one here is Mapping the Interior by Stephen Graham Jones. This is a little informal, unofficial read-along that Evie from She Was Only Evie and I have been doing this year. We've been reading Stephen Graham Jones and Zora Neale Hurston. We've been alternating between the 2 authors each month. And this one I am very excited for. 1, I love the cover. 2, I love everything that I have read by Stephen Graham Jones. So any opportunity to get into his work, again, I'm going to jump at the chance. So this one I am looking forward to. Again, I will have Evie linked down below if you want to join us on her Discord for that buddy read. And then the next read along that I'm jumping in starts November 1st. And this one is hosted by Jake over at The Bookish Drummer. I'm going to have him linked down below. Jake is beginning a read-along of all of Stephen King's short stories. We're going to read 1 story per week, and the first collection that we're going to be jumping into is Stephen King's Night Shift. I am really looking forward into getting into more of King's work. This year I've spent reading his fantasy, his thriller novels. I'm excited to get into some of his horror. I read a lot of it when I was a teenager, but unfortunately I don't remember a whole lot of it. You know, I remember the gist of the story, the endings, that type of thing, and if it really affected me like what it actually was, like that will never, ever, ever leave me. Like I will never forget that. But I've decided I want to read all of King's works, and why not go in publication order? So I do have Carrie here. I don't know when I'm going to kick that off. I don't know that it'll be every month. I might do like one King book every other month. We'll have to see, but I am definitely down into getting into the short stories, and one per week. I mean, I just love short stories. I love that they're little bite-sized chunks. I'm just looking forward into doing this. Of course, I will have Jake and his Discord linked below if you want to join us. We would love to have you. Next on the list is the Shelf Space Book Club pick for the month of November. That is American Gods by Neil Gaiman. This will be hosted by Abby Salter and the brothers Gwyn. Both channels will be linked below, along with the Shelf Space Discord if you want to join us for this read. So if you would like to read this for the first time, or you want to reread it with friends, however you want to consume the book, this will be my first Neil Gaiman. I've heard so many references made to this novel. I am very, very excited to get it read for myself. It's used as a unit of measurement against so many other books that I've read or I'm interested in reading. I can't wait to find out what it's about. I literally have no idea. Zero. And I don't read the synopsis on the back of the book because a lot of times it may have a spoiler into it, or it may affect my expectations. Next is Sin Eater by Mike Shell, the second book in the Iconoclast series. This is part of a read-along that I am co-hosting along with Andrew from Andrew's Wizardly Reads. This is a dark fantasy. You know, if you're someone who grew up playing D&D, or you play it now and you love that sort of quest type of trope, I think you would enjoy it. It also kind of gives off vibes of like Indiana Jones. Not the humor of it, more along the lines of where they investigate ruins and maybe come across artifacts of gods that maybe has a curse or has some kind of properties that are of the gods, you know, that kind of thing. If you're someone who loves that type of story, but on the darker side of it, you might be interested in picking up this series. Next, I will be continuing my journey through all of Joe Abercrombie's work. I am definitely on the home stretch. I am on the last trilogy that I believe is going to be involved in the First Law world. I've heard a lot of people say that this trilogy is their favorite of his works. I'm really excited to find out for myself. I just really have enjoyed everything I've read by him. Cannot wait to continue the journey. Again, no idea what the series is about, who it's going to involve, if it has any characters from the previous trilogy or standalones. Don't know, don't care. Joe Abercrombie wrote it, I'm going to read it. And I will also be continuing my reading of the novellas in this bind-up, A Lineage of Grace by Francine Rivers. I am to my favorite one, Unspoken, which is about the story of Bathsheba. And I remember the first time I read this years and years ago, just crying. I felt so ashamed of myself because I did not ever, until I read this novella, never once did I ever put myself in Bathsheba's shoes as far as what happened. You know, you just only hear about the fact that David had her husband killed because he wanted to be with her. You never stop to think about the part that she was forced to play, her role in society, like what was expected of her, what she could and could not do. Oh, it's so good. I cannot wait to continue reading that novella. So next I have a couple of horror books here. The first one being Ungodly by Brayden Riddick. I love this. So Heidi Locke, she's a subscriber of mine. She messages me and says, hey, I need you to go put Ungodly on your wish list. I want to send it to you. I don't know anything about it. I had not heard of this book at that point. What I love is she said, I read this book and I think it's one you will really enjoy. Guys, there is just absolutely nothing better than for someone to read a book, love it, and immediately think, hey, this is something Leslie would like. I am extremely excited to read it. Of course, ever since she sent it to me, I've been seeing it mentioned everywhere. Several of my friends have read it and they have absolutely loved it. I am so excited to see what I think. The back doesn't have a synopsis, but it's just mentioning a couple of events that are taking place around a college campus. I am so in for that. It's just a perfect time of year to read these kinds of stories because it seems that's when all the good slashers come out, around October, November for the fall season. I absolutely love horror stories that take place around college campuses or summer camps, things of that nature. I am very excited for that one. I also have here Brian Bowyer's Flesh Rehearsal. I am so in love with just the beauty of this cover. I would 100% love to have this in an oil painting on my wall. This one I know has to do with a serial killer, and guys, I have just been living for serial killer stories this year. I'm so excited. That's really the only two words I needed to hear to want to read it. Now, I wanted to read it because of the cover. Won't lie to you. I saw this cover on Twitter and I about died. Just died for it. So I already wanted it because of that, but then when I heard it was about a serial killer, that was all that needed to be said. So can't wait to fly through that one and see what I think. And then, if I have time, if I knock out all of these other reads, which one of them that looks really big is a collection of essays, and I'm only reading one of those per month. And then I have like 2 skinny books and a novella. So I feel like I'll be able to knock these out. But if I clear out all these other books on my November TBR, I will then read Kings of the Wild by Nicolas Eames. I have had this on my TBR for at least 2 years, maybe a little longer. But what really kind of gave me a kick in the pants to get going is my friend Kate. She is going to have a live stream with the author in December. Nicolas Eames. So if you've been around for a while, you know that Kate is one of my best friends. I want to be able to watch the live stream and participate and provide support. So I'm going to do my best to read Kings of the Wild in November and hopefully be able to read Bloody Rose like right at the front of December so that I can watch the live stream in case there's any spoiler talk. I've just heard so many wonderful things about these 2 books. I'm very, very excited to read them. And that will wrap up all of the books that I am hoping to read in November. Guys, what does your November look like? What are you planning to read and get into? With us having the Thanksgiving holidays in November, I know that's going to lend some of you a little extra reading time. So I imagine that I speak for all of us that we will be thankful to have some time to spend with our families and to be thankful for a little extra reading time. Definitely let me know in the comments down below if you're going to be joining me in any of these read-alongs with the other channels I mentioned. Guys, thank you so much for watching today and supporting the channel. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. I hope October was a great month of reading for you. I hope you're really excited for what you have planned in November. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.